This is going to be a dark video, so just close your eyes and listen, or skip to the next one, I guess. No, don't do that. You can sit and listen to me for a minute. I would listen to you. So, been pondering. You know, I sit in the morning when I get out of bed, and you guys already know, this is like, I don't want to do this poop loop again. You know, I'm in fucking pain, and it sucks like a big dog. And, I'm working on that and making serious progress. However, healing is not always pain-free, and it's usually not pain-free. Especially when it has to do with the muscular skeletal system. So anyway, a lot of times when I'm in pain, I sit and I think. And I'll also check my notifications for comments. And it's a good time for commenting, because I can take my time between the waves of pain, and you know, I can put the phone down and pick it back up when I need to, so that I can type things out. And that's when I start pondering, because I come together with like-minded people, and you know, usually our interactions are, you know, casual and kind and, you know, uplifting or whatever. But sometimes we share things, or we're led to share things with each other, and the conversation can get pretty damn deep. And sometimes it's really fun, and there's jokes, and there's music sharing. And this is so important. It's so important. And this morning I was talking with D, and in comments, and he did a video with a song. I can't remember the name of the song, but it goes, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me running? Can you hear me calling you?" Okay, so I love that song, and I forgot about it. And I always forget about stuff until you hear it again. It's like, oh yeah, that song, I love that song. But the 80s was wild, and it brought back a memory to me of one time when I ran away. I ran away a lot. And it seems now that I'm speaking to a lot of adults who are in my generation, speaking between 1965 and 1982. 1962 to 82 or something like that, I think, or 81. Anyway, give or take a year. All y'all. Seems like we did a lot of us did a lot of running away, and we grew up the same ways. A lot of us had broken homes, raised with grandparents, a lot of abuse, alcoholic, a lot of parents, they had to work. Both parents were working, and it was, you know, it was an agenda that was pushed, and everybody followed it, and whatever it is, I think it's for the greater good, even though it didn't look good at the time. And even though that song floated me back to an empty house. Well, it wasn't empty. It had a lot of stuff in it. It was an abandoned house. It was a 2.5-story home. And I stayed in there to, you know, hide from the wild animals at night. And the big wild animals. I live in Texas. This is when I was living in Texas as a kid. Because I lived down here for 4 years as... I lived down here during my puberty, my transition to puberty. So I've lived here for 2 of the biggest transitions of my life. Puberty and menopause. Oh, Lord. I just thought of that as I was speaking. But anyway, so I remember having a Walkman, and y'all that are my age, y'all know what a Walkman is. And that's when they came out with the tape players and the radios that you could hook to your belt, and it had headphones with a cord. And that was the only thing I got in 1984 for Christmas. And I remember that my dad had missed a lot of work that year. And when we opened our presents, there weren't any batteries. And I remember my dad crying about that because he didn't remember the batteries. I think he was crying because he wasn't able to afford Christmas, which is horrible. I wish my parents would have never had to go through that, because that is awful. But anyway, I was thinking, this is the interesting part. So I gotta light my cigarette, so hang on a minute. So Dee was telling me that he ran away too. And he told me that, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me saying it because it's in the comments for everybody to read. So he said that he remembered, running away and taking his Walkman. And he hid out in a building which had a radio so he could save his Walkman batteries. Because believe me, the Walkman batteries, they died fast. They died fast. I think it took like 2 AA batteries or something like that. So I could see both him and I, and this is just in my mind's eye, putting things together like a puzzle. So here's Dee's puzzle piece over here. He's experiencing the same puzzle. And here's me in this puzzle piece over here. And we're syncing up so beautifully. I can see us both thousands of miles apart, not knowing each other, experiencing the same thing at the same time as that song comes on the radio. Because that was the song back then. It was a very popular song. I think it was like 1985. I was 12. Was I 12? Yeah, I was 12. So, I don't know where all this is going, except that I feel like this generation, there's something special about everybody. There's no doubt about that. Everybody is a miracle. Breathing is a miracle. But what I'm saying is, I think our generation came with a mission. We're on a mission. And I can see it now that we were all running and kind of spread out. And we still are spread out. We're like worker bees. And we all have our orders, or whatever you want to call them. I don't want to call them orders. And we're carrying out our mission. And they call us not just Generation X. Put that into your thought for a minute. Generation X. X marks the spot. And the latchkey kids. Because we carried keys around our neck. Yeah. But just saying that, say it to yourself. If you're a latchkey kid, it gives you chills. There's a fire that comes alive in the furnace. And everything gets electrified on me when I say that. I'm a latchkey kid. And I'm on a mission. I love y'all.